You want me to start recording?
Oh my god, did you leave me? I guess I can't do anything on my phone. Yeah, go for it.
All right, we're going.
All right, welcome in episode 10, Bout That Action Podcast. What's going on,
Bows.
kid?
What's up, dude? How's your
Not
week
much.
been?
Not much, just drinking a heavy ass torpedo IPA.
Oh, dude. Say less.
Dude, torpedoes.
Dude, torpedoes are good.
Yeah, I haven't drinking IPA in a while. It's kind of hitting the spot.
That's like all I've been drinking lately is IPAs. Hazies, in particular. Tonight, though, dude, I got a bottle of mezcal.
Uh-oh.
Got a little Paloma and mezcal action.
Uh-oh. Looks like a foo-foo drink.
It kind of is. It's basically just grapefruit and, like, smoky tequila. It's really good, though.
So, could have been a torturous week in sports this week. I mean, I'm sure I'll get into it and rant as much as possible. But the Browns, I'm ready. I'm ready to call it quits.
They're a mess, dude.
Mix it with, the Guardians almost going down this week. It could have been a really bad week in sports. But the Guardians saved me last night. We'll get into that.
Hanging
And
strong, dog. Hanging strong.
big sports weekend coming up. We got college football. At the beginning of the season, this was one of those weekends that they kind of pinpointed that said, don't go to a wedding this weekend because you'll just fuck yourself.
Yeah, make sure you're by your TV.
Big action in baseball, big action in football. Basketball's right around the corner. Hockey started. This is just really, I mean, you say the best time of the year is when fall starts and football starts, but really when football intersects with baseball, intersects with hockey, intersects with basketball, this is the best.
This is it. This is the prime time zone.
Yeah, there's not enough TVs in the house.
And this week got started off with a banger, which I'm super happy about. So I don't know if you want to jump into that first.
Yeah, so we'll jump into the NFL. Niners got the win last night, 36-24. What's your initial take?
Big win, too. Massive win. This game was so important, I don't think people realize. Not only was it our biggest division rival in the Seahawks, like, we have to beat the Seahawks. I don't care if we're fucking 10-0 or 0-10. If we're playing the Seahawks, as a 49ers fan, you have to win that game. No matter what. That's a must win. So there was that on the line. On top of that, we were going into this game 2-3. Not good. Fucking terrible. So that was a must win because of that too. Like, if we lost another game and it was to another division opponent, that would put us at 2-4. We'd be last place in the division. And at that point, the season's a wrap. Like, let's be honest. They're hanging on by a thread right now. So it's a huge win. It was a good win. It was a good game. And I'm not gonna lie though, I started to shit myself halfway through that game in the third quarter when it looked like they were starting to turn the tide a little bit. What did you think? Did you watch the game?
Yeah. A couple things. So if the Niners are 2-4, they're not out of it. Like, yeah, they're last in the division, but they won this game. They're first in the division now. So
well, the road ahead is a lot tougher.
Yeah.
So these early games that we were supposed to be winning, we're not winning. And if we would have been 2-4 in those first 6 games, like, the rest of the season is fucked.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think they came out really strong in the first half. I mean,
First
great.
half.
They weren't scoring touchdowns. Once they got down there, they were kicking field goals. I mean, at least they had a field goal kicker this week.
With their bus stop field goal kicker.
Yeah, but the third, fourth quarter kind of looked like the same thing as Arizona, where
It totally did, dude.
they jumped out to a big lead, and then it was, oh crap, like, they're going to come back, and what the hell's going to go on? And then, the third and fourth quarter happened, and they got a couple stops, and really, I mean, the Niners' run game took over.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. That Isaac Guerrero 70-yard run at the end of the game saved our ass.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, I don't know if we win this game. Which is terrifying to think about. Because he's our third-string running back. Like, that's not a play he's ever going to do again in his life. And it just saved our ass and potentially saved our season. So maybe we got a little lucky. I mean, there was also some very controversial ref calls in that game, including that, what was it, a kickoff? No, it was a punt. The punt that hit the guy's hand. And the ref, they even went to review, and the ref's like, oh, it didn't hit his hand, Seahawks ball. And they showed the replay, and it's like, dude, it clearly hit his hand. Like, that wasn't even a question.
Did you see the excuse for that?
No.
The official, or the NFL, said that Amazon Prime has better cameras than the NFL does to look at that.
What?
Are you kidding me?
That's crazy, dude. That's wild. But yeah, it was really bad. I mean, it was completely obvious that it hit his finger. That should have been the Niners' ball. And that would have been a game changer. That would have cemented our victory right there. But the fact that they got the ball back and then they went and scored a touchdown, it was like we were completely fucked. So, luckily following that, Garindo had that 70-yard run, brought us all the way down to the red zone, and then we were able to kill the clock and score again. That was pretty huge. But with the Niners and the Seahawks, it's always an exciting game. There's always shenanigans. I mean, this is going back to, like, the wrestle days when he would throw a fucking 60-yard air ball and it would bounce off someone's helmet and then off someone's ass and then their receiver would catch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's always been this way with the Niners and Seahawks. So I'm not really surprised that that's how the game ended. But I am super stoked that we got the W on that one.
Yeah, so the Niners defense kind of showed up. The run defense showed up. Their pass defense, I mean,
Yeah.
Seattle was just throwing a lot. I mean, that's it. They just started throwing. So it looked like they put up big numbers. The run game had it going for the Niners. They ran it 33 times for 228 yards. Really helps with the 76-yard run at the end of the game.
Right.
Really boost the numbers, but they still ran the ball really well. Debo and Kittle had big games. Debo, 3 receptions, 102 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 58 yards. Brock looked, decent in the game. He threw some big throws.
He had a couple bad ones, but for the most part, he was responsible with the ball and everything.
Yeah. Seattle really got back into the game when they took that kickback. I mean, they were down big, and then they took the kickback for a touchdown to get it back in the game, and then started rolling from there. Geno Smith threw the ball 52 times for 312 yards, 2 interceptions.
Our rookies really stepped up too. Mustafa and Renardo Green. They had huge games. Both guys had interceptions. So that was nice to see. I've been saying all year that I wanted those guys to get a little bit more time because they looked really good in the preseason. And, guys like Isaac Yadam and even sometime like Jaylen Brown, they don't always look that great. And so, I was thinking like maybe it's time to start giving those rookies a little bit of time, get a little bit more playing time. Maybe, not saying they need to start, but maybe get a couple plays here and there on certain possessions. And sure enough, because of injuries, they got to start, and both of them had hell of a game. So that was cool.
And, the difference in the game is you guys had a kicker. Matthew Wright won 3 for 3 field goals and 3 for 3 on extra points for 12 points. So.
Yeah, it helps when we have a kicker and our fullback doesn't have to be the kicker.
Yeah, it makes a difference when you actually have a kicker. Didn't the kicker get hurt or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same thing. So it was a punt return. Same way Jake Moody got hit or hurt. He goes to hit the player out of bounds. For Jake Moody, unfortunately, his ankle completely rolled because he just got steamrolled by a bigger guy. In last night's game, he didn't roll his ankle or get injured by any means, but he took a hell of a blow. I mean, he got fucking run over. And you could see him kind of wincing and going back to the sideline, but I think maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. I mean, he just got, bullied by a bigger player, but he should be fine.
Yeah, so the Niners moved to 3-3. Tied with Seattle, actually, atop the division at 3-3. I think the Cardinals are yet to play. What's the Cardinals record?
I'm not entirely sure. They might be 2-3 as well, so they might need a win this week, and then it'll be a 3-way tie.
Yeah, which is wild. Yeah, so who do the Niners have coming up next week? Chiefs.
So next week it gets ugly. Yeah, I think we have the Chiefs next week, and then I think Detroit after that.
Chiefs, Cowboys.
Chiefs, Cowboys. Who's after the Cowboys?
Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen to this next: Chiefs, Cowboys, Buccaneers, Seahawks again, Packers, Bills, Bears. Wow, yeah, they have a tough schedule. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
like Seahawks and the Bears are the only two teams that I really feel comfortable in beating. Other than that, it's going to be really rough games.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, there's another factor in all of this, and that's Greenlaw, Dre Greenlaw. So he's apparently practicing. He's looking good, and they're saying that he's probably going to be healthy and potentially starting around like week 7. So if we can get him back in the mix, I mean that he's such a fucking impact player on the defense. That should make a pretty big difference. So getting him back would be nice. I think we just need to get healthy. Sounds like Christian McCaffrey also might be coming around week 7, week 8, getting some reps. So if we can get McCaffrey back, Jordan Mason took a little bit of a hit. Sounds like it's not that bad. Sprained shoulder or something. But yeah, we're going to need to go into those tough games pretty healthy or else we're going to be fucked.
Yeah, they'll be good. I mean, they've had a lot of winnable games. I mean, honestly, they could be, 4-2, 5-1 pretty easily. I mean, save your Vikings game where they got trounced. I mean, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. We should be 5-1. Like we had no business winning that Vikings game. We got destroyed.
The Rams lost, the Cardinals lost were kind of fluky.
Super bad. Right.
They just let them come back in the end, and it was just like, oh shit, they won.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot. There's a lot to hang your hat on as a Niners fan. You're still a great team, still got great players. Getting players back and dealing with injuries, so I don't think.
Yeah, we're just a little banged up. I mean, I don't think the team itself sucks. Like obviously we just went to the Super Bowl. The team is loaded, but dealing with the injuries, maybe we're dealing with some morale issues. That little Super Bowl hangover that everyone talks about. Could be some stuff like that. So, got a couple things to work out. Health and morale need to definitely get better, or else it could be a long season.
Yeah. Fantasy implication wise, Jordan Mason only had 9 carries. He's kind of dealing with some sort of injury. I didn't really catch what.
It was his shoulder. I think they announced today it was like a shoulder sprain. Okay. And they said that was best case. So, he might miss a week or 2, but it doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you're picking up Patrick Taylor or Garendo off waivers, but we'll see.
I think it's got to be Garendo at this point, right? After that 73-yard burst.
Yeah. For the Seattle Seahawks, Kenneth Walker kind of shit the bed. He did have 8 catches. And then JSN had 5 catches for 53. I mean, there's not really a ton of good fantasy outlook for Seattle except for KW3.
I mean, to be honest, and I don't love this team at all. I actually hate this team, but Metcalf had 2 touchdowns in that game. One of them was erased because his toe was like a millimeter on the white. And the other one was erased because he absolutely burned our safety. He was like 5 yards ahead of him on that play where he caught that like 50-yard touchdown. And thank God it was erased by some ridiculous, stupid holding penalty. But, yeah, I mean, Metcalf had 2 fucking touchdowns in that game, to be honest. we escaped it by like the hair on our teeth, and he didn't get those points. So, thank God for that.
I think for this next segment of the show, I need like some dark.
Dude, you need some brandy or something.
I need like some emo music.
Yeah.
And I need to have like a wig with my eye covered.
Chain smoking cigarettes.
Oh, Browns. I mean, last week was an embarrassment. We're gonna go over week 5 highlights, but
yeah.
Last week was. I mean, if this whole season's been an embarrassment, week 5 was a culmination of it. You're down 24-3 at half to a rookie quarterback and the Washington Commanders, and your $240 million quarterback just can't hit an open receiver to save his life.
And you have great receivers. That's the part that's so frustrating.
This was the first game that the offensive line gave him time. I mean, the offensive line gave him a clean pocket the entire game. and he decided that he wanted to spin out of it and run. If you look at all 22 footage, I don't even know if I want to say his name, but if you look at the all 22 footage, for the Browns misses wide open receivers all over the field, and it's not even like his back's turned. It's like he's looking right.
I'll say it for you, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's. I mean, he just looks to run and get out of the pocket as much as possible. He doesn't want to throw the ball.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying is like, dude, you know how many teams wish they had Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore? Those are three really good wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like, there's, at this point, no excuse. And David Njoku, a fantastic tight end. Like, he's got weapons everywhere, dude. Like, there's no excuse for him at this point.
No, his excuses are gone. I mean, I don't... There's some weird game being played in the Browns organization right now. It's like, it's either, you know, the coach trying to hold strong because the owner's trying to tell him. It's like the coach trying to sabotage. I don't know what it is. But if this was any other franchise, Deshaun would have been sat and James Winston would have been playing already.
Well, yeah, Winston came into the game and threw one pass, and it was a completion for 16 yards.
Yeah.
Instantly.
I mean...
I don't know if Deshaun Watson has a 16-yard pass this entire season.
Yeah, I mean, if you just sat him down for one game, right? If you sat him down for one game and say, hey, Deshaun, go get your head, you know, let's do it. You know, I wouldn't even care about that because then you could see what happens. But they doubled down and said, hey, you know, we're going to stick with our quarterback.
Yeah.
The team is averaging under 15 points a game, which is atrocious. Deshaun Watson has a QBR of 21.
Which is
21.
Like absolutely outrageously bad.
Which is worse than Gardner Minshew, who got sat for Las Vegas.
For a lesser backup, by the way.
For a lesser
Aiden
backup.
O'Connell, when you have Jameis Winston sitting on your bench.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is we get Nick Chubb back, probably not this week, but maybe the next week or after.
I think he's about 2 weeks out.
I mean, you could see on the field last week that people were fighting. People were kind of getting in each other's face. Like, I mean, it's like you've lost the team.
It's turmoil, yeah.
And Stefanski's too good a coach to sit with that and just be okay with it. I don't get it. I feel like he's being forced to play Deshaun against his will, and he's just got to deal with it, and it sucks.
Yeah, I think there's some politics involved in it. I mean, obviously, the amount of guaranteed money has a huge factor in that. There's a general manager and a owner who has a massive ego, and that doesn't look good on them when you spend that much money and you just get a turd in return. So I think a lot of it has to do with stuff like that, a lot of politics, a lot of egos. And unfortunately, that all just falls on the fans because all you're just going to get is a bunch of failure because people aren't willing to do what it takes to actually put out a good team, and they're just looking to cover their own asses and say that there's other factors or other reasons why these things are failing when it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I got some feedback that I was quiet, so I'm going to talk directly into my microphone.
Oh, dude, now you just sound fucking crispy.
Whoa.
Dude, crystal clear.
I am, I've just been dealing with this crap for way too long. And, I mean, it's one thing if they sucked, right? If the Browns sucked, I'd accept it.
Yeah.
If I knew they sucked, and like the 1-15, 0-16, 3 and whatever teams, I'm fine with it because they sucked. They didn't have the talent. To lose and start the season 1-4 this year with the amount of talent that a team that went to the playoffs last year and won 11 games with Joe Flacco as their quarterback.
A team that potentially has one of the best O-lines, the best defensive end in football,
Yeah.
like an amazing secondary. Like what? It's ridiculous.
To come out and average 15 points a game is unacceptable. I mean, the
It is.
defense can't even do anything because they're on the field the whole game. The Browns' offense goes 3 and out every possession.
Yeah.
It's hard to win in the NFL if you're just giving the other team possession. I will give it out. Like, Jaden Daniels is a beast for a rookie quarterback.
He's killing it. No, he's doing great, but like them aside, like the Browns are losing to everyone.
Yeah, I mean the Browns. There's a stat that I heard the other day. The Browns have faced the easiest passing defenses in the league to date. So the Cowboys, Jaguars, Giants, Raiders, Commanders have the statistically worst
Pass defense.
bottom 5
Yeah.
pass defenses. And he has the worst QBR in the league. I think that out of anything can tell you.
That's so bad. That's embarrassing.
Sit him down.
Yeah, that's bad, man.
And we have the easiest schedule. And now we get into the schedule. We got the Eagles this week, Bengals, Ravens, Chargers, Saints, Steelers.
I mean, at what point does the coach like fake an injury and just be like, dude, you're out?
Yeah.
Like put him on IR, force him, blackmail him, do whatever you have to.
At this point, that's the only hope is that he get injured.
Yeah.
Like as bad as that sounds, I mean, at one point, you hope that he was going to get caught for sexual assault or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I guess injury is the only thing we can hope for because they're not going to sit him.
What, dude? What? Here's a conspiracy. What if Stefanski was the one that posted that fucking thing about his sex scandal to try to get him off the team, hoping that the ownership would finally make a move?
Shit, I would.
Or maybe even one of his players, dude. What if the players are like, dude, we need to get this fucking guy gone?
I just don't know how Deshaun's going to go back into Cleveland Stadium. I mean, because it's not the rest of the team. It's Deshaun. It's Deshaun and the ownership that the fans are pissed off about.
100%, yeah.
And, I mean, the only way Deshaun was going to be accepted is if he won. And he hasn't.
Dude, he is a glaring zit on the face of the Browns.
He looks horrible.
He looks horrendous.
He's not looked like an NFL quarterback.
And I don't know what it is, dude. When he was on the Texans, I honestly thought he was a top 5 quarterback.
No, 100%.
And he's still young, which is crazy. Like, what happened? He just gave up on life, dude.
Yeah, he got a bunch of money, and I don't know. He's just not the same. He lost, the year and a half or whatever, and then, it's like he never got his game speed back.
Yeah, plus all the guaranteed money the Browns gave him. They should have never done that.
We saw a glimpse of it last year against the Ravens, and then he got hurt, and it was like this year we were, had high hopes it was coming, but
yeah, it's bad, man. I feel bad for you. I mean, I'm kind of a Browns fan myself. I always root for them, but it is painful to watch. It's just like every time I turn on that game and I watch him, I'm like, dude, you can't be that bad. Like, this is terrible. And the ones that frustrate me the most are like usually the ones where it's like an out route and it's like an easy throw. Fucking 5 to 10 yard out route, right? And he overthrows it every time. It's always out of reach, and it's usually like someone like Elijah Moore just doing like a quick little out route, and Deshaun Watson just fucking missiling a pass way out of reach. And it's just like, dude, you can't do that, man.
Or
those are gimmies.
Or just not even throwing it.
Just not even throwing it, right?
Yeah. Or just trying not even to throw it. Oh, it's stupid.
It's really frustrating.
Let's get back to, we missed a couple weeks, but we'll get back to week 5 action from last week and kind of run through the games. We did have our first London game. We actually have another one this week, too. Last week, Vikings took down the Jets. The Vikings are 5-0, which is crazy.
They're good. They're at first it was like, oh, are they a gimmick? Are they just, hot right now? No, they're fucking loaded. They're really good. That they probably have the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
So, and that team, and honestly, Sam Darnold is playing really well. Like, the offense doesn't seem to have lost a beat much from losing Kirk Cousins. So, yeah.
Sam Darnold has, he's going to be the comeback player of the year if he keeps this up.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
He is very, very good. Making the right decisions. It helps to have Justin Jefferson on that team.
I have a prediction about the Vikings, though. Do you remember it was like 4 years ago they did this exact same thing? They were like undefeated for like 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the season, they started getting a little shaky and they got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, they got beat by the Giants.
Dude, I have a feeling that's going to be the Vikings again this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going. They're not making a deep playoff run this year. I don't think. I do think they're going to have a great season though. So it'll be fun for the most part for Vikings fans, and then all of a sudden it's going to really suck.
Yeah. Yeah. So next game, jump right into it. The Jets didn't look great. I mean, they came back at the end. They just did not look great. That defense is tough.
No one has looked great, dude. They've smoked the Cowboys. They smoked the Niners. Now they smoked the Jets. Like, that defense is no joke.
Bears beat the Panthers 36-10. The Bears are looking better.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yep.
Bears are looking way, 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 way better. Caleb Williams looks good. Run game looks good. Panthers didn't look good after, having a good game. DJ Moore had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The game of the week last week was Bengals and Ravens.
Bengals and Ravens was a fantastic game.
Incredible. I actually fell asleep and then came back into overtime and saw it.
I mean, honestly, if you just watch the last 10 minutes of that game, the end of the fourth quarter and then overtime, it was insane. The back and forth scoring, the fumbling, everything was just fucking nuts, dude. It reminded me of like that one game. What was that? Fuck, it was the Rams and Kansas City, that Monday Night Football game, where it was just like nonstop scoring back and forth, and then like fumbles, interceptions. It kind of reminded me of that game. It was like on that level.
Yeah, Jamar Chase had 10 catches, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked unstoppable. Joe Burrow looked incredible.
Dude, he was dialed. He was dialed.
39, 392 yards. Ravens kind of stuck one out. Derrick Henry had one big run at the end. I mean, honestly, the Bengals needed this one. The Bengals were 1-4, just like the Browns. The Browns have looked a lot worse. The Bengals had a couple games they should have won.
I'm just now seeing Joe Burrow's stats from that game for the first time, and that is insane. Yeah. 392 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, 30 of 39 passes.
What a menace.
Yeah, T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns as well. He played really well.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's Lamar Jackson. He's crazy. I mean, he had that one play where he threw that touchdown to Isaiah Likely where he just made the whole
dude, oh, that was insane. Stupid. Yeah, that was amazing.
Absolutely stupid.
And I was really pissed because I benched Isaiah Likely on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he caught 2 touchdowns. He only had 3 catches for 13 yards, but 2 of them for touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. Lamar Jackson is absolutely insane. Yeah, Bengals. I mean, we're fighting for last in the division with the Bengals. Dolphins beat the Patriots 15-10. Not really anything to talk about there.
Huntley got to win. Huntley got to win.
Yeah, Drake May is going to start for the Patriots next week, so rookie quarterback jumping in. Tua should be back. I don't know. I think they're on a bye this week, maybe, the Dolphins are, and then he's going to come back.
Yeah, I think he's about 2 weeks out, they said.
Jaguars got the first win of this season, 37-34 over the Colts. Joe Flacco.
Lawrence had a great game, too.
Yeah, Joe Flacco had an awesome game.
Dude, he looks good.
Yeah, he always looks good.
It's kind of crazy. Like, he just shows up, fucking 40 years old, and just starts throwing darts.
Mm-hmm.
Get him back on the Browns.
Yeah.
Bills and Texans, that was a good game, too.
Yeah, Bills, Texans. Texans came out big. Bills came back. Unfortunately for the Texans, Nico Collins got hurt, but I mean, C.J. Stroud is that dude. He's awesome.
He's ridiculous, and their kicker is insane. Fairbairn is just an absolute fucking amazing kicker.
Yeah, I love to see C.J. do well. I've always liked him.
Yeah,
I've always been a big fan. From Ohio State, and he's awesome. He does it right. He's always had a good attitude. He's never been too cocky or anything. He's awesome.
No, for sure. He's the quarterback that every fan of any team wishes he was on their team.
Josh Allen had the worst stat line I've ever seen.
Did he? I didn't even see the stats.
This is a Deshaun Watson stat line. Somehow they say in this game. He went 9 of 30 for 131 yards and 1 touchdown.
I mean, that was the game where he got the concussion, right?
Yeah.
Where they pretended like he didn't. but it
Yeah,
was like
that's
blatantly obvious. It's like, dude, his head bounced on the ground and he was like completely limp. So maybe he has an excuse for the bad stat line.
yeah, but that was later in the game that I think he fell on the ground. Um,
True.
at least I think so. But yeah, they ran
I
the
think it
ball
was in
well.
like the third quarter.
They ran the ball well, and their defense got him back into it. Nico Collins will be out for a couple weeks. That touchdown pass that CJ threw to him was an absolute dime.
Yeah.
Could be Stephon Diggs will get some big targets coming up. The Texans look good. They look kind of unbeatable, right? I mean, they just look like a polished team.
They're exactly. They're polished top to bottom too, like every position. Just everyone's doing their job. Everyone looks like they're having fun, and they're just putting up points, man.
The Broncos beat the Raiders 34-18. The Broncos are sneaky 3-2.
Bo Nix, dude.
5 games.
Bo Nix.
Getting it done.
That defense too, honestly, the Broncos defense has been really good this year.
Yeah, the Broncos defense is lights out. They're kind of unstoppable. Their corners are insane.
Dude, Pat Surtain is just unreal. That dude is an absolute menace.
The Cardinals beat the Niners last week, 24-23.
Worst game of the week.
Yeah, that was. I mean, honestly, the Niners didn't have a kicker. If they have a kicker, they win that game, no problem.
Well, there's more to it, but yeah, I agree. We should have won that game without a kicker, but we just shit the bed. We didn't score any points in the second half of the game at all.
You would have had at least like 9.
Probably with a kicker, but there's no excuse for not scoring a single touchdown in the second half. Like, come on, dude. It's the Cardinals. It's not like they're some elite defense that's going to shut you down. Unacceptable, in my opinion. 0 points in a half is just, that's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see here. The Packers beat the Rams in a pretty close game. The Packers, get Jordan Love back. Have dealt with injuries and everything like that. I think Packers look pretty good, honestly. The Rams are kind of going to shit real quick with all their injuries.
Rams are easily the worst team in our division. Easily. Cardinals actually have some weapons and a good defense. The Seahawks, they have a weird team because it's like they have a good offense, but their quarterback is horrible. And then their defense is kind of good. So it's like, I don't know if they're good or bad. They're just kind of there with good players, but also really bad players. So it's like, the Seahawks are weird, but I still put them above the Rams. I think the Niners and the Cardinals are the best teams in that division.
Yep. Seahawks, I feel like, have just had a super easy schedule to date.
The scary thing is I feel like if they had a quarterback, they would actually be really good.
Yeah.
Because Kenneth Walker is hella good, and the receivers are outrageous.
Yeah, I don't think Geno Smith is.
And then they have Geno Smith commanding the team. It's like, dude, you realize that's like, that's as bad as the Browns having Deshaun Watson right now. Completely just paralyzing that team.
Yeah. Seahawks lost to the Giants last week. The Giants are kind of picking it up a little bit. They look a little better. Their defense is actually pretty good on the Giants.
Dude, the receivers on the Giants are really, really good. Wan'Dale Robinson, that little fucking 5'8" twerp. Dude, he is shifty. Like, that dude he kind of reminds me of like healthy young Odell Beckham Jr. Just for whatever reason, he's giving me those vibes. And then
Malik Neighbors.
And then Malik Neighbors is insane, dude. Yeah. He is so talented. So the two of those guys together, they're actually making that team look pretty exciting.
Yeah. Cowboys beat the Steelers on the Sunday night game, which went way late into the night. Thank God. Steelers just look like crap now.
Which is surprising.
Their offense looked like crap all year.
Yeah, that's true. Their offense is pretty bad.
Their defense has just kept them in games.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Cowboys, Dak finally got it done in the clutch. He usually doesn't, so that's definitely a change. And then the Chiefs got it done on Monday night against the Saints.
Don't want to hear about it.
Honestly, they just score 20-some points. It's always like 28-21 or 28-24 or 24-21, and that's how they win games all the time. It's so annoying.
I literally hate that team more than the Seahawks.
Yeah.
and they're
The
not even in my conference,
the only reason why I like them a little bit is Kareem Hunt just went off and had 27 carries, and I always
which
like
is kind
Kareem
of
Hunt.
cool because Kareem Hunt is good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like him.
yeah. I feel like he should still be on the Browns, but that's it.
But
Once
I
he
dude, I
gets out
cannot
that,
stand that team.
like everybody else.
They're so annoying, and I don't care how good Patrick Mahomes is. He's fucking annoying. He's so corny and stupid. He reminds me of, you know, who he reminds me of is Russell Wilson when he was on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Just this fucking snot-nosed, annoying, snobby little prick
Yeah.
who isn't as good as everyone gives him credit for, even though he is good. I don't know. That team drives me nuts. I can't stand watching them win. I root against them every single week, no matter who they're playing.
Yeah. I mean, 5-0 with that team is crazy, and they still have injuries all across the board. They lost Rasheed Rice. Pacheco's been down. Their defense is just good. I mean,
Oh, we're getting comments here from the Peanut Gallery. Darnold is killing it. I was at that vein. Oh, he was at that game. Oh, these are old comments. Yeah, Zach was at the game, that crazy game with the Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
Dude, he was at that game, which is insane.
Yeah, which is crazy.
He said, "Be careful, Dallas is for." Oh, be careful because we were talking shit about the Rams. I mean, they're definitely the worst team in the division.
Yeah.
When Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp come back, they might be able to make a resurgence, but as it stands right now, no way.
All right, so I mean, this is October 11th, but October 12th was on the calendar for a lot of people in the college football world as being a mecca for college football sports weekend. I'll start, as everybody knows, I'm a big Ohio State fan.
Oh wait,
we have an absolutely massive game this week. We're the number 2 team in the nation. We're playing the number 3 ranked Oregon Ducks at Outson Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. I should have got tickets to go to the game.
that would have been cool. That would have been a fun game to go to.
It is going to be electric. It's a 4:30 start Pacific time game. Oregon's wearing their all black uniforms. Ohio State's wearing their all white uniforms. I can't wait. Ohio State's favored by 3 on the road right now. The cool thing about college football now is they have the expanded playoffs, so 12 teams get in. So a loss isn't detrimental. So it's like, yeah, there's some, big time implications of this game, but a loss isn't going to put you out of it.
Yeah.
Especially a loss to a big time team like this, so it's kind of cool. I mean, this is what Ohio State spent, however much money that people say, $22 million or whatever, in NIL money on their team. Jeremiah Smith, freshman wide receiver, has delivered and is probably could play in the NFL right now at 18 years old.
He looks pretty, and some of those clips you've sent me of him are nuts. Like, that kid is outrageous.
If you watch a highlight, if you watch this highlight for 5 games with Ohio State so far, 5 games, it looks like a career highlight for a lot of people. I mean, just the one-handed catches and the moves that he makes is unbelievable.
Zach says Kansas City is the second worst. I think they're the worst.
We have the 2 best running backs in the nation, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson.
Judkins, dude.
Judkins is the man. Travion is it. And really, the biggest question mark is Will Howard, our quarterback, and what he's going to do. Our defense is electric. Should be able to hold him. Oregon's offense is okay. It's going to come down to if Will Howard makes mistakes or not.
I feel like Ohio State always has really good defense. Like they
actually haven't. No,
really
their defense has sucked. So the last 3 years, I'd say their defense has gotten better. But no, actually, the last 2 years their defense has gotten better. But before that, their defense was trash for probably 6 years.
So after they lost Nick Bosa.
Yep.
Bosa and Chase Young.
Chase Young.
That was the end of it.
The defense kind of went to crap, and then it got built back up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now their defense is, their defense is electric. I mean, you got returning seniors, Jack Sawyer and JTT on the outsides. You got Tyleik Williams and Ty Hamilton on the inside, which is the best defensive line in college football. You got Sonny Styles at linebacker. You got C.J. Hicks, Cody Simon, and then on the outside you have the best cornerback in college football, and Denzel Burke. Igbinosun on the other side is the weak point of the defense, but then you have the best safety transfer, Caleb Downs, and then safeties for days behind him and Latham Ransom. So, I mean, they just
loaded.
Just loaded on defense.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid. And I mean, the thing with Oregon is they've kind of had a shaky start a little bit. They've pulled it together lately, but they almost lost to Idaho. They almost lost to Boise State, and with Boise State has the best running back in the nation right now. They ran all over him.
Who's that?
Gentry, I think is his name. If you look up his numbers, he is unreal. Ashton Genty. The guy's unreal. He's averaging 8 yards a carry. He's got 1,000 yards through 5 games, 16 touchdowns. The guy's a freak, and he ran all over him. So
Ashton Jaunty.
Ohio State, in order to be, productive in this game, needs to run the ball, and they've ran the ball really well, and that's what I think the difference is going to be in how they're going to take it down. If we eliminate the turnovers, we'll be good, and we'll beat the shit out of these guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing with Oregon is I feel like they're kind of that team that's always really good also, but for some reason I just feel like they don't always perform as well.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of choke in big games, and Ohio just seems to always fucking win. So
yeah,
I think you guys will be all right.
The big outside of losing to Michigan, the big game that we lost in the last couple of years was to Oregon at the beginning of the season in 2021, I believe. And it was to Oregon. It was C.J. Stroud's second game as a starter, and we had no defense. So Oregon ran up the score. So a lot of the players that are seniors and came back were freshmen in that game. So there's going to be some extra motivation from those guys to win this game. I mean, Ohio State hasn't really played anybody to date, but they've also kicked the shit out of every team they played.
Yeah, exactly. They just fucking manhandle people.
They played Iowa last week. Iowa's defense is top tier, and they scored 35 points on them.
Dude, listen to these stats. So this is that guy, that Jaunty guy.
Oh, yeah. It's insane.
95 carries. 1,000 yards, 1,031 yards.
Oh my god!
For an average of 10.9 yards per carry.
Oh my god!
With 16 touchdowns. That's insane. This dude is wild.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't done it against easy I mean some of it's easy competition, but
and he's a small guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be top drafted running back next year. Yeah, he's a beast. He's crazy.
Zach is saying you just hurt the feelings of all the organisms.
A
Ba-doom.
lot of other games coming up. Actually, last week was a big week in college football because there was a lot of big losses.
Really?
Yeah, top tier losses. Number 1, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, and probably the biggest upset I've seen in a long time. To fucking Vanderbilt. I don't know if you saw the highlights, but Vanderbilt beat them, and then the game was in Nashville, and they tore down the goalpost.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
They marched it through downtown Nashville and
right
into the river.
They were pissed.
Which apparently is like a Tennessee tradition because Tennessee did that a couple of years ago.
People are still complaining that you're a little quiet, Dan.
Yeah. Can't do anything about it.
He's all the way up. I'm all the way up. But yeah, I saw those videos. That was crazy. They took the goalpost down Main Street.
Tennessee also lost to Arkansas. They were the number 4 team. USC lost. Missouri lost to Texas A&M, which is number 9 team.
Missouri's supposed to be pretty good too, right?
Yep. Michigan was ranked number 10, which they shouldn't have been, but they lost to Washington.
Holy shit! Missouri didn't just lose; they got fucking wiped.
Yeah, Texas A&M was pretty good.
41-10.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, listen to Boise State's ranked number 21. but they beat Utah State 62-30 last week. Ashton Genty, 13 carries, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean,
dude, relax.
Yeah, relax.
Dude, you're gonna make it to the NFL. Save some for the rest.
Yeah. The week 7 is big. Actually, Utah's playing Arizona State right now. But we got Texas playing Oklahoma, which is the Red River rivalry. Every year that's a game that you circle. Texas is favored by 15 points. Texas is good. Another game is Penn State at USC at the Coliseum, which is a good one. Penn State having to travel out west, just like Ohio State does. We also got Tennessee and Florida, which is always a good rivalry. Ole Miss and LSU is a good one. Kansas State, Colorado. Colorado's actually playing better than they have the last couple of years. They all got all the hype around them with Dion and his sons and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is should be the number 1 overall pick next year.
Alabama and South Carolina.
Alabama, South Carolina. Yeah, but South Carolina's not very good.
What about Clemson and Wake Forest?
Yeah, Wake Forest isn't very good.
Dude, they're going to put a beat down on Clemson.
BYU
Believe that.
A decent game. Arizona has some good players. They just haven't played that great this year so far.
Dude, Brandon Ayuk, dog.
Big slate. And then, jumping into another big time of year, it is October, and that means it's playoff baseball time. And, as everybody knows, I'm a big
Indians, dog.
Baseball fan. Indians, Guardians, whatever you want to call them. We are in the American League Division Series. We got a bye in the first round, playing against the Detroit Tigers. So it's a bit of a rivalry, AL Central rivalry. And the Tigers actually, were down and out this season completely. I mean, they were reeling, one of the worst teams in the major leagues outside of the White Sox, and just went on a tear the second half of the season. Absolute tear. Just won, snuck into the playoffs, won the wild card series, and now we're facing the Guardians. Cleveland won the first game of the series 5-0. I mean, just put it on early, and then lost the next 2 games. This is a best of 5 series. Lost the next 2 games, and then Game 4 was yesterday, and probably one of the best baseball games I've watched outside of the last time the Indians were in the World Series and they lost to the Cubs. That Game 7 was just an absolute incredible game to watch, even though it was a loss. This game was just, it had everything. Guardians went up. The Guardians went up early, 1-0. Detroit came back, hit a home run, tied it. Guardians went up again. Detroit came back, went up a run, and then I think it was the 7th inning. 1 guy on second base, 2 outs, 2 strikes. David Fry is up. David Fry is the number 2 hitter. Jose Ramirez hits behind him. He's probably the best hitter in baseball. And we get this situation, if you want to pull up
the video.
The video there highlighted.
Uh-oh. Game 4. Oops, I gotta put it over here.
And we got Tom Hamilton on the call, which is the best in baseball.
Woo!
Hit a ton, deep left, green, back, track, wall, go!
Crushed it.
David Fry!
Tom Hamilton. Yeah, so David Fry
Sent it home.
2-run blast, silences the Detroit crowd. Just absolutely hammered them all. On his 2 strike, he was down 0-2 at the count, too, came back 2-2 and just absolutely hit a bomb.
And he was throwing up his threes the whole time he was running around the bases.
Yeah, I mean, you can see everybody how stoked they are.
Woo! Yeah, that's crazy.
Then relievers come in, pitch well, and then the bottom of the 9th is the next video that I have up there. There's another link there if you can't see it. It's on the end.
Yeah, I got it.
It is. We got a guy on second and third, I think 1 out or 2 outs, and David Fry's up again, and he actually, in the rare case, lays down a suicide squeeze.
2-strike, 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 7th to give Cleveland this lead. He squares to bunt safety.
Oh, this isn't a video though.
Yeah, it's just a radio call. So basically, this guy on third starts to steal home. He lays down a bunt, calls a suicide squeeze, and he scores and gets some insurance run.
Dude, that's such a slime ball play though.
Oh, dude, small ball, it's great. So they go out 5-3 with the insurance run, and actually it helps out a lot because our closer, I mean, listen to this stat. So our closer is the best closer in baseball. He has just an ungodly amount of saves this year. He has given up, there's 162 games in the season. This guy's probably pitched in 100 games. He's given up 5 runs all year. He's given up 5 runs.
That's pretty crazy.
He gave up a 3-run home run in game 2 that lost us the game, which he hasn't given up anything like that all year. And then he gives up a run. He gave up 1 run in this game, which made it 5-4. But then he shut the door, and we're going back to game 5. Game 5 is in Cleveland tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and it is going to be absolutely ruckus in Cleveland.
Oh, dude, just chaos.
Oh,
it's going to be like the Browns-Raiders game all over again, but everywhere.
Yeah, it's I mean, if there's anything Cleveland does, playoff everything great. I mean, they come out for it. So it's going to be electric. It would have been better if it was a night game because it would have been even more electric. But
yeah,
even a day game, people are going to go nuts.
Those Ohioans love their sports.
Yeah.
OH, Don?
Yeah, so waiting for them in the ALCS if they get by. I really hope Detroit doesn't win because I'm so sick of Detroit. Are the Yankees. Yankees who have a combined higher payroll than the other 3 teams in the AL playoffs right now.
Combined.
And then, combined. And then the NL side of things, National League, the Mets and the Dodgers just won today, so it'll be the Mets-Dodgers. So a lot of big market teams.
Fuck the Dodgers. Get out of here. No one wants them to win.
They're so good.
Dude, of course they are.
It's hard to see them not go.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
Yeah. By a championship. If it's Dodgers, Yankees, I'm going to be so mad.
No one's going to watch the World Series.
No.
The Yankees might have some real fans. The Dodgers do not. No one in LA gives a fuck about baseball. It's all fake fans. Bandwagoners. They're not going to get shit.
Nope. So yeah, that's talking baseball. I did want to jump into just briefly discussing some fantasy football.
Fantasy sports in general. We got hockey back and baseball or basketball coming up soon.
Yeah. I did want to say I'm having a horrible season in fantasy football, just everywhere, across the board.
I think everyone kind of is. It's such a weird season. Yeah. I think anyone that's good at fantasy football is having a rough year because everyone that's good you kind of know because we all pick the same players. So I think this year it's the year that the fucking idiots who pick these weird, obscure players that aren't good or aren't supposed to be good might be having good seasons because all the actual good players that are supposed to be good are sucking this year or are hurt.
Well, I mean, we'll jump into Chunky Funk Stump Elite. My team isn't bad. My team is very good, and I'm scoring points. Like, it's not like I'm not scoring points. Like, I'm, top 25% in scoring points.
Yeah.
It's just, I just get screwed by a point or two or something that happens.
Just lose a close week every week, yeah.
Which, drops me. I'm in last right now. And even
Are you really in last?
Yeah, I'm in last. And Lazuch is ahead of me, 1-4. And he's actually scored more points than me. And he just has the highest points against. We have the highest 2 points against in the whole league.
That's true. By a lot, too. By a lot.
So it's just, that's
you know who's in third for the most points against?
You.
Me. And somehow I slimeballed my way into fifth.
Yeah, it's just that's what kind of year it is. I keep getting kind of bad breaks, and it always happens on like Monday night or something like that where it comes through. But
Hefferton's still having a good season though, and he usually has a good team. So
yeah,
whatever his philosophy is, it's working. 5-0.
yeah, I think I'm in good shape. My team's really good.
I'm projected to lay an absolute beatdown on Lezuc this week, so I should put myself into a better position here after this week. It looks like you're in another tight one, though. You're in a tight squeeze.
Oh yeah.
You guys are basically tied right now, so that's going to be an interesting one to see how that plays out. You better have some fucking room in your stomach for some pancakes, dog. It's looking that way.
The thing with me is I'm not going to bitch out on it. So.
Oh, for sure. I would be honored. If I got last place, I would do it the next day.
Yeah.
I would I would film it.
So here's my week in the other league that we're in, the church league, which I'm for sure gonna finish last in. It doesn't even matter.
No. I'll let you say what you're going to say, and then I'm going to interject. But go ahead.
I am in dead last. I'm totally last in points. And I just have injuries across the board on my team. And Devontae Adams was like my top pick, and I can't keep him healthy. And it's just bad. It's bad. I can't project a score over 90 points every game, and it's a little rough.
It's rough.
It's rough right now.
Okay, well, let me tell you what rough looks like, Daniel. I'm going to switch over to the action cam here so you can take a little peekaroo at my team.
Holy shit.
I'm projected to get 72 points this week, and the week hasn't even started yet. And that's because my quarterback, Anthony Richards, has been hurt. He's coming back. He's still questionable. I don't even know if he's going to fucking start. But he has to play because he's my only quarterback. I picked up Josh Downs off of waivers and dropped my backup quarterback, who was dude from Pittsburgh, Justin Fields. Breece Hall is the only guy that I have that's been decent, but the last 2 weeks he's gotten 1 point. Ramondre Stevenson out. Evan Ingram questionable. Nico Collins IR. Malik Neighbors out. Travis Kelce I just traded because I'm desperate for a wide receiver, so I traded him for damn it. What's his? I have it right here. The dude from Philadelphia.
AJ Brown?
No, I wish. Devontae Smith. So I traded Kelce because Kelce, to be honest, has had a really bad year. He hasn't done shit. So it's not that lopsided. It's actually they're in the stats they're about even. So I got rid of Kelce for a wide receiver, so I'll actually be able to start someone. A-Chain out. Hawkinson on the IR. Nick Chubb actually might be coming back soon. This guy IR. My team is so fucked, it's outrageous.
So you need to drop.
Look at this.
You need to just drop Jonathan Brooks and drop TJ Hawkinson, and then you could throw somebody on IR and pick 2 people up so that you don't have to put zeros in.
Here's the thing. I have a feeling Hawkinson's going to have a really good second half of the year. And I'm desperate for tight end because I just traded Kelce. I don't think Ingram's going to be the guy. So I have to hang on to him. I'm stuck with him. I need him. Because if my team does sneak into the playoffs by any chance, I'm going to need him for that.
I would at least drop Jonathan Brooks. Get him up. Nobody's going to pick him up. And then put somebody...
I know, but it just sucks because it's like literally like he's about to start playing. We're like 2 weeks away from him actually being in-game action. So it's like
also,
he could potentially be better than some of my other guys.
You should probably just drop Minnesota. Well, Minnesota defense is hard to drop.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm handcuffed. All of the players that you would think I could drop right now could potentially be my best players on my team. Like, I'm never going to get rid of Minnesota's defense.
You're just going to take the L this week.
I'm going to take the L this week. I have to.
Yeah, I can't.
I literally don't. I don't have enough players to start a full roster this week, which is insane.
Dude, you should see my starting roster right now.
All right, we're gonna go look at it right now.
You should go look at it because like my injuries are insane, and I literally have probably the worst.
So your projection is pretty low, also. That's that's pretty bad. Anything under 100 is embarrassing, so
Yeah.
I feel your pain. But yeah, Prescott, he's been kind of iffy. I think it's going to be a shootout with Detroit, though, so you might actually get some nice points out of him this week. Mooney, that's another questionable one, right? Is he going to have a good game? Is he going to give you 1 point? You don't know. Deontay Johnson, dude. What the fuck is that?
Dude, I have to start both Jacksonville rookies.
Okay, so I... That's so bad.
Like what I'm forced to do right
now. He's starting the same two running backs on the same team. Yeah, your team is in trouble, dog. I think ETN is going to start getting some more action, though. That team looks like they're finally starting to wake up a little bit. So maybe he'll have a better second half of the season. I think McBride's a good pick. How's he been this year?
He's been okay. He was supposed to score a lot more, but
yeah. Eckler is awful. Rachaad White should be good. He's hurt, but he's a volume guy at least. You're probably praying to God that Devontae Adams gets traded. That will turn your team around real quick. Same with Pittman Jr., man. He's so good. He's just hurt. Oh, dude. You have really good players. You're kind of like in my situation. You have really good players, but you're either dealing with injuries or weird, team issues.
Yep.
Damn. Well, me and you are going to be fighting for the bottom of the barrel there.
Yeah.
Where am I? I'm sixth on this league, so yeah, we're not doing too hot. Well,
yeah.
It's a long season though. There's a lot of football ahead, so things could turn around pretty quickly.
Yeah, my other team that I have, is doing pretty good. They're 3-2 and they're not bad. I have Nick Chubb and Pacheco on IR as well, and I'm probably going to need to make some trades for running backs because, I mean, listen to this running back tandem. I have James Conner, DeAndre Swift, Rachaad White, Kieran Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, and Nick Chubb.
Good God.
I
That's
should
like
probably
7 starting running backs.
Should probably I mean, listen to my wide receivers even. I got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Wan'Dale Robinson,
Yep.
Chris Olave, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, 4 really good wide receivers.
Yeah.
And honestly, this sounds crazy, but I think Wan'Dale he's that like sleeper pick this year that everyone wishes they got.
Dude, I just picked him up this week.
He's so good. He's so good. I have him on that team, and he's just been fucking super consistent all year. So, yeah, your team is pretty good. You're kind of in the same boat as me. We're just kind of like sitting there hanging around waiting for things to take a shift. Because we have the players, we're just waiting for the play, to actually take place.
Yeah,
Zach said, I have one team with 7 players, either doubtful, questionable, out, or injured reserve. Yep, see, that's what I'm saying. It's across the board, dude. Everyone's dealing with the same shit right now. You're really lucky if your team isn't injured.
Yeah. I'm going to try to trade for Mike Evans with Cade. See what happens.
Cade is always down for a trade, but I will say he is very stubborn.
He's so he wants what he wants.
He wants what he wants, and he will not budge. And that's good. He's a really good manager. I mean, I was trying to get Pittman Jr. off of him earlier in the year, and I was trying everything. I even said I would send him a rental contract, that I would trade him a player only for the duration that Deebo Samuel was out because I just needed to replace Deebo. And then once Deebo was back in, I have to send him that trade back, like a reverse trade. And he wouldn't even take that. I was like, God damn, dude. So, yeah, Cade's a good manager, but he's tough to trade with. But he's also always down to trade. So, you just have to...
Would you get Mike Evans? So, listen to this. I got Jordan Mason, who I've used every week. I just traded Jordan Mason for James Conner.
Which, by the way, what a fucking move for you. He just sprained his shoulder.
Yeah.
Immediately.
It was like injury. Like, here's a chance I play. Christian McCaffrey's coming back. or he gets injured because
Right.
he's getting used more than he's ever used. So
Exactly.
sell always high. I got him for nothing.
And James
So
Conner is
now-
just having a career year, so it's like, why not?
Yeah, so now I have Pacheco, who's coming back. I don't know when he's coming back. I got Nick Chubb coming off IR. I got Kieran Williams on a bye who's coming in. And I got DeAndre Swift who's playing out of his mind lately.
Yeah,
So,
Chicago woke up.
Do I trade, if I'm trying to get Mike Evans, do I trade James Conner and Chris Olave? And would he even do that trade?
Honestly, I would try to just trade Kyron Williams. See if he takes that. Because Kyron Williams does have a lot of upside.
That wouldn't be bad, but Kyron Williams is so consistent.
I know.
I mean, he's just so consistent.
But so is Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So that's how you got to look at it, is what's going to, in Cade's eyes, make him say, like, oh shit, that's crazy. Because you can afford to lose him. Let's be honest. Especially when Isaiah Pacheco comes back, you're not even going to think about it. He probably wouldn't even make your starting roster. So, like,
Kieran Williams would. I would play Kieran Williams and...
over Connor?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, yeah, let's be honest, yeah. But also you got to consider that, Puka Nacua is going to come back. Cooper Kupp is going to come back this season. And that team will instantly turn into a throw-first team. Now, I know Kyron Williams also is a pass-catching running back. So he's going to get a lot of targets also. But, I don't know. They're going to gobble up some of his targets. So... You never know.
I think this is a very fair trade. And I don't think he's going to do it, but if I got Mike Evans and I traded James Conner and Chris Olave.
You could try that. I think with Cade, it depends on what he wants. You got to get into his mind. I like to usually talk to him first, kind of sweet talk him and see where he's at and kind of get an idea, gauge him.
He'll send me a message.
So, yeah, I mean it's not a bad trade at all. Like, to be honest, like that's a pretty fair trade because Olave is a really good receiver, and that offense at the beginning of the year was insane. I mean, they hit a roadblock here, having to play the Chiefs and then the fucking Vikings back to back. That's a tough call for anyone. But
I'd also think about trading Tyreek Hill
for Mike Evans.
His value is so low right now that I don't know if anybody would actually want to take him.
I'll take him for anyone.
Stock, dude. I got him in the CFL league.
What do you want, dog? You want Malik Neighbors?
Yeah. Take Malik Neighbors and...
I don't know if I would actually do that because he's just having such a great year. Christian Kirk, dude. There you go. For Tyreek Hill.
No.
1-for-1, dog. You need a running back? Is that what you need?
I take Malik Neighbors and Devon A-Chain for Tyreek Hill.
I wouldn't do that. I would give you Nick Chubb. I would give you Nick Chubb and
Malik Neighbors?
I don't really have another wide receiver to give.
No, if Nico Collins was healthy, I might be down with that. But...
I don't know if I would even give up Nico Collins for Tyreek Hill 1-for-1. He's having such a good fucking year. It's insane. I think he's the highest scoring wide receiver right now, and he's hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by a long shot.
Yeah. But yeah, Malik Neighbors too. He just has so much potential, and with the Tua injury and Tyreek's 31, I don't know. It is going to be a hard sell for you.
Yeah, I mean you can't. He's so low right now.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible. So yeah, other fantasy.
Dude, Nick
sports,
Chubb, dog. OH.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back and does something. Other fantasy sports. How's your fantasy hockey team doing?
So far, so good for both of them. So we have our Pacific Coast Hockey League that I've been in for freaking like 15 years. In fact, that was the first ever fantasy sports team I've ever owned. Larkspur Lummoxes since 2010. So I really like my team. I think I drafted extremely well. I have a very well balanced team, and right now I'm winning 9-4. So it's looking good for me in hockey to start. Let's see where you're at. You are.
I'm not in Pacific Coast.
Oh, why do I always think you're in that league?
I dropped out. I wasn't in.
Okay.
And then I dropped out.
However, in the Yager Bombs, excuse me, in the Yager Bombs league, I'm actually projected to lose. And I won the championship last year. This is a dynasty league, so I think my team is still really good. But yeah, this guy's putting a beating on me right now. Whereas freaking Dolbert,
Dolbert's projected to win by 160 points this
oh
week.
boy.
Um,
What's your
my
team name? Oh, Sack Jackets. And you're going against Zach.
My team is absolutely stacked, dude. Connor, Tanner, Kyle.
Connor. Oh yeah, you got all the Tanners and Connors. You're gonna win. Yeah, that's a wrap. Dude, you have Eichel and Conor McGregor. McGregor McDavid.
There's somebody in our league that keeps trying to trade with me and like keeps trying to do
Mo Money.
And yeah, that's who it is.
He's spamming everyone for trades, dude.
And he just like puts so much pressure at the weirdest time of day. Like it's like, 8:30 or 9 when everybody's at work and he's trying to like wheel and deal deals. I'm like, dude, relax.
Dude, Zach, if you're still watching, you didn't set your lineups today, and the guy you didn't start was your highest scoring player. He had 2 assists, 2 penalty minutes, 2 shots, and a block shot for 12 points, sitting on your bench. Sucks for you. So Dan's gonna win that week.
Mo Money is projected to score the most points this week.
Yeah,
Actually,
he's beating my ass.
watching. I just set my lineups earlier this week and I haven't been watching it at all. So I realized I had somebody on IR, so I moved them and picked up a defense and just threw it up a little bit. But I mean, Victor Hedman had 3 assists tonight. Connor Bedard, Connor McDavid.
It's crazy, dude. My team is projected to be the 3rd highest scoring team this week, and I'm gonna lose.
That's crazy.
That sucks. But yeah, you and your fucking Connors, dude. You have Connors everywhere. Connor, Tanner, Connor, Riley, Connor, Tanner, Anthony,
Matt, Kyle, Connor,
Matt, Kyle, Connor, Tanner, Connor, Kyle, Connor. Anthony's team is looking pretty good. He's projected to score the 2nd most.
Yeah.
He does. Looking at his roster right now, he has a very good team, very well balanced.
Yeah, I still dig the overall points as opposed to.
It's fun. I need to refine it a little bit. I'm finding a couple little mistakes I've made in the point association, but it's pretty decent. It's easier than having to track every fucking category.
Yeah, and just figuring out who has the most hits, and the goalie category is so big. You have to watch it and like kind of.
Yeah.
Hey, do I want to play a goalie at all, or? Yeah, I like that you could just whoever has the most points, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, like accumulated across your entire team, who did better? Period. Put it all in one bouquet.
Moving on to basketball, we have which we should just live stream this too, but we have our basketball draft coming up Sunday at 7
p.m. I'd be down to stream that.
We do need one more person in our league, to tell you the truth. Either that or I boot somebody.
So what I do for my hockey league, which I've been doing, is that when it gets closer to that time and I can't find anyone, I set it as a private Yahoo league and ask for people to apply to join. And I kind of vet them. I question them like, hey, like we have pretty active managers. We're only accepting people that are going to A, show up to the draft, and B, set their lines consistently so that the weekly flow of the league, stays consistent. Nobody wants to be that team where you bench your whole fucking team every week and then it's just like an auto win. Yeah. So, and that's kind of worked out. Like I've found some pretty good, solid fantasy guys doing that.
So you interview them.
You email them. So when you set your league to a private Yahoo league, and you publish it on the Yahoo app, people have to apply to join, and it gives you their email. And then I usually just send out an email like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and I kind of give them the breakdown and say like, "Let me know if you're interested in that." So
Okay.
it's worked out for me so far.
I just said it right now. I was gonna send a message in the league, but I can't figure out how to actually send a message.
Commish settings, dog.
Okay. So fantasy basketball, I usually have a killer team in fantasy basketball. I forgot to set a lineup last year and lost, but it's on this year.
Ooh. Yeah, you and Cade definitely dominate the basketball. I think you have a little bit more knowledge there than the rest of us.
Yeah.
I do good just because I have like a good numbers brain. Like I can analyze players pretty quickly and determine who's good in a draft. But you guys seem to always just squeak ahead of me. I'm usually like third place in that league. Not this year though. This year I'm winning.
Yeah, too many fantasy leagues at this point. 4 fantasy football leagues is too many.
That's too many. I do 2. On
Then
any
let's
sport, I'm
add-
not doing more than 2 anymore.
Yeah, let's add a fantasy hockey and basketball.
Yeah.
And see how often I miss setting my lineups.
Yeah. That's
All
my
right, so
dude. That's
let's-
my Monday morning at work. I get to work.
Yeah.
I go through all of my teams. I look at all the injuries. I do all my lineup shit. Set my lines for the week, and then that way I only have to check like vaguely throughout the week to see how everything's going.
See, it's been weird because, especially this year in the NFL, there's been so many injuries that it's like so hard to even.
You have to
follow.
really be on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
I mean, I've had to literally make trades, not just add and put people on the bench and injured reserve. Like I'm having to make trades because like I no longer have a roster that can be filled. That's how many injuries I'm dealing with. I'm like, all right, well, I need to turn in my healthy tight end for a fucking healthy wide receiver because I don't have any. It's insane, dude. But yeah,
All right, you ready to get into Week 7 NFL picks?
let's do it, dude. Break it down.
So we're starting in Philadelphia.
Woo!
Browns at Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 9.5 points.
Yeah, I hate to break your heart, but I mean, the Browns aren't winning that game.
Yeah, I'm also picking the Eagles because fuck the Browns.
Yeah.
Moving on. The 6:30 a.m. game. Get your lineup set early because we got a 6:30 a.m. game in London.
Oh boy.
Bears and Jaguars. The Jaguars have played over there forever, so I'm taking the Jags. They're used to this shit.
So the Jaguars have been really bad this season. I know they kind of looked good last week, but I think the Bears have looked like they've woken up more to me. So I'm going Bears.
Okay. Next game, I will give you Chicago's favored by 1 point, so it's kind of a toss-up. Cardinals Packers at Lambeau. Packers are favored by 5.
That's Packers for sure.
I am. Oof.
At,
The Packers
at Lambeau, come on.
Yeah, the Packers kind of like let teams in the game, and the Cardinals have played better than you expect them to. But I'll take the Packers. Next game, Packers are favored by 5. Next game is Titans Colts in Nashville. Somehow the Titans are favored by 2.5.
I was just going to say the Titans. I think the Titans are winning this game.
I'm going to take the Colts, dude. Joe Flacco. Actually, is Anthony Richardson back?
So Richardson is starting, but he doesn't have Pittman or their running back, Jonathan Taylor.
That's a good point. I'm still taking the Colts.
So I I think I'm going to take the Titans on this one.
Next game is Texans-Patriots
Oh,
in
come on.
Foxborough.
Stop.
Texans are favored by 6.5.
The Texans should be favored by like 16.5.
Yeah.
They're going to dominate.
Yeah, decent weather. It's supposed to rain, so that might come into play.
Mm.
Next game is the Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore Fest. Buccaneers Saints, where they always get into fights twice a year.
Yep.
This is in New Orleans, thank God, because I'm sure Tampa Bay is just ripped up from the hurricane. Tampa Bay
Yeah.
is actually favored by 3.5.
Who you taking?
I got. I'll take the Buccaneers. They need this one. They need a bounce back game after their overtime loss.
I was gonna take the Bucks, but I was so on the fence with this one. Since you chose the Bucks, I'm gonna go Saints. Because I think it's gonna be a really close. It's a very even matchup.
Yeah. The next game is actually very interesting compared to what's been going on lately. Baltimore and Washington.
Whoo. Daniels is fantastic. That team is really good. But the Ravens just beat the fuck out of Cincinnati at their best. And I think Cincinnati at their best is better than Washington at their best. So I'm going to go Ravens.
Yeah, I think there's enough film on the Commanders and JT Daniels, and I think the Ravens are just too good.
They're so good.
I'm going Ravens as well.
I mean, remember at the beginning of the season, I said the Ravens, in my opinion, were going to be the number one team in the league. And they haven't been, but I think they're slowly becoming that.
Yeah. Next one is Broncos-Chargers at Mile High in Denver. Chargers are actually favored by 3 in this game. Chargers coming off an early bye.
Really? That's interesting. I was going to choose the Chargers, but I thought they were going to be the underdogs. I'm still going to choose the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers on this one.
Oof.
That Harbaugh, dog.
This one's hard.
It is hard. It's actually a close game.
I'm going to take the Broncos.
Go with that defense.
I think it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
Next game in Vegas is Steelers versus the Raiders. I'm going to... Pittsburgh's favored by 3. Raiders got Aiden O'Connell. I mean, I don't see them scoring a lot of points. I'd like the Raiders to win, but I'm going to take the Steelers.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think I would want the Raiders to win this game, but I think it's going to be another fucking like 14-10 type of game, 15-10 type of game. I'm taking the Steelers by a small margin.
Next game is Lions-Cowboys, which is probably the game of the week. I mean, there's
going to be a
really
shootout.
no other big games.
Yeah, that's going to be a shootout.
It is at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Who you got?
I'm going to go Lions. Cowboys are good, but they're also bad.
Yeah. I mean, the Lions have played really well against the Cowboys lately, but I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think they get it done.
Yeah, I think either way it's going to be a shootout. I think both teams are going to put up a lot of points. It's going to be an exciting game. I just feel like the Lions have a little bit better weapons. Like, Montgomery has just been insane this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. So I think they have more weapons than the Cowboys. And I think that's going to be the difference.
Falcons-Panthers. There's a lot of afternoon games. Falcons-Panthers in Charlotte. Falcons are favored by 6. I'm taking the Falcons.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
They've played a lot better lately.
Dude, they've beaten a couple of really good teams this year. And I feel like Kirk Cousins just looks better and better with each week.
Oh, yeah. Sunday night game is Bengals-Giants at MetLife in New Jersey. Shit, that's a tough one.
Based on the performance that Joe Burrow put up last week, that team could beat anyone in the league, and I don't think the Giants are going to stop them. So it's got to be the Bengals.
I'll take the Bengals as well.
Yeah.
And then
and keep in mind they don't have Malik Neighbors this week.
Oh, true.
So they don't have a chance.
They still have Darius Slayton and Wandale Robinson. Bills Jets is the Monday night game, also at MetLife in New Jersey. Bills are favored by 2.5. Oof.
Bills are taking it.
I'm gonna go Jets.
So my reason is both teams are good. The Jets just fired their head coach.
Oh, good point.
I don't know what's going on in the locker room. I don't know where the morale stands. I don't know if they changed their playbook. That team is kind of a mess. They've lost more games than they should have this year. It just seems bad. I know the Bills kind of looked terrible last week, but they're still a pretty good team. I'm just because of the mess that's going on in New York, I'm going to go with the Bills.
Yeah, I forgot about the whole Robert Saleh thing. I wonder if that's is that a Aaron Rodgers thing or is that an organization thing?
I don't know, because there was reports about them kind of having a beef before the firing, like that video of them kind of like doing that awkward hug and like the stare down. So there was definitely a little bit of, speculation that was going to happen before it did happen, and then it happened, and it's like, okay, was that right? Or I feel like it's one of those things that no one's ever going to really know. Maybe like 20 years later on like a Netflix special, Aaron Rodgers is going to give an interview as an old man to be like, yeah, fuck Salah, I fired him. But like no one really knows, and I don't think we're going to know anytime soon.
Yeah, that's interesting. And they said he got like escorted out, so
I did see that the security had to show him out, which is pretty telling because usually the media won't give you that much details on shit like that.
Yeah.
So it must have been pretty bad.
It's also like, why? Why did they tell us that he got escorted out?
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you trying to lead our minds somewhere, like to paint a narrative?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, I'm going Bills. I mean, that team just seems like they're a mess right now.
All right, so that'll do it. Another episode in the books. Bout That Action.
About that action, bouse.
Check out our Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Check us out. Peace.
All right, dude. Peace.